way he's handled this whole mess in East Palestine, if he runs for president, that's gonna come. That's gonna come back to haunt him. Dude waited.
That's not on him.
He's not the Secretary of Transportation.
He's a second transfer, but
Yeah.
that's not on him
How's it not on him?
What do you want him to do?
because
He could have
because
went to. He could have said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Ohio instead of waiting 3 to 4 days." Been like, okay, I'm gonna be right there. Me and the
why did he
president.
wait?
Say that again.
Why did he wait?
Apparently, he was on some vacation. I have no idea why he waited. To be honest, I don't know.
So just to clear the air a little bit, and full disclosure, I do not like Biden, Pete Buttigieg, or any of them jokers. But
I
I
like that some
do
reason.
look at it and say, how did you perform in the game? And their performance is fine with me so far. So
Oh, and
Pete
the
Buttigieg,
Southwest thing, that was handled all the way wrong. I'm like,
but
dude.
both, perhaps,
I've
perhaps,
heard
but
this.
here's the thing.
I have heard this argument so much, and again, Tracy, I'm not jumping on you, but it's
Yes,
so
you are.
cringy that it's irritating the living daylights out of me. I am tired of people going. They need to go down there. Full stop.
They should be going down there. That's
Okay,
your
my
job.
question is,
No.
go
That's
down
what
there
you
and do
signed
what?
up for.
That is
When you signed
So
up for the job,
literally
that's what
the
you signed
equivalent.
up for.
That is
Huh?
literally the equivalent of somebody saying, Marlon, there is a huge car wreck on I-19.
But you're
Really?
not the
You should be down.
transportation
You should be
secretary.
down there. And I
But
know I'm
you're
looking
not
through
the
it
so
now.
transportation secretary,
But
Marlon. Nobody's
Tracy,
expecting you to go down there.
all I'm saying is you keep saying go down there and then you go and what? Do
Hold a
what?
town hall
Go
meeting.
down there and
Tell the
look at
people,
them?
no,
Go
this is
down
what
there
should
and
have
watch
happened.
them?
This is
Go
what
down
should have
there.
happened. Let me tell you what should have happened. The governor
Okay.
of Ohio, because Biden cannot declare an emergency until the governor of Ohio makes a move. He has to be the one that calls the administration and says, hey, declare an emergency so that FEMA can come in, the National Guard can come in, and all the resources that that community needs. That should have been the first thing. But he's playing politics too. So his inaction is terrible. However, when you're in Poland and something like that happens, you'll be like, dude, this is canceled. I got to get back there, get on Air Force One, and fly to Ohio.
no.
Why
I'm sorry.
not?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna walk everybody out. I'm gonna walk you through this.
Y'all
Okay.
just making
First of all,
excuses for their inaction.
no, you are just making up things.
You're
I'm
the
not making
So
up things. He wasn't in Poland
yes, you
when
are.
the train wreck happened.
your
Is
very
that not a
first
That's
fact?
like
your
saying
very
that's
first
like
statement that
saying was
came out of
Hershey
your
making
mouth.
chocolate when the bomb went off?
That's not like that. All I'm
Was
saying
there a
is
car accident? Was there a car accident at the same
he's
time that
the.
somebody got shot?
I'm saying that he should have canceled his trip when he got over there
No, he
and
shouldn't.
heard about it. Yes, he should have.
No, he shouldn't. No, he
What was
shouldn't.
he over in Poland for in the first place? To give Ukraine more money. Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's unwind this for real. So first thing, I'm gonna take on that piece. So he was in Poland because he had just left Ukraine, right? He had left an active war zone. We haven't had a president do that in many, many, many administrations. Go to a war zone that's not fully under US military control. Then he left there and went to the G7 meeting. That's why he was in Poland. Okay. So was he giving more money to Ukraine? Yes. Now, the alternative is not giving money to Ukraine. So, by not supporting Ukraine while there's an active war, then more people who are not military people, civilians, get murdered. The rape continues, the starvation continues. Russia takes Ukraine. So that's the alternative. So that's just reality. So if we say don't give money to Ukraine, we're saying let Russia and Ukraine just handle this and we out of it. Completely ignoring NATO, completely ignoring anything, all humanitarian efforts as well. So I have a real problem with that point that you made. Then you said, well, he should have called off the trip and come back because of the spill. So we're going to take that in pieces. So first of all, that was in an industrial accident because a private company had an accident. and the train derailed, and it created a major event. And like you were touching on, the governor chose not to ask for a state of emergency, which now means that the federal government can send in some relief, like to help with the toxic part, but they can't go all in. They have to be invited in
Right,
because
that's
the
why
states have
I
rights.
started at the
I
governor,
get it.
because essentially it's
I'm
his
with you.
fault for not asking for
But
that help.
the way you presented it was so full of holes that I have to say it the way I'm saying it. So the governor, like you said, was playing their little dumb politics. Oh, we got this. We got this. Between us and whatever the railway is, it Norfolk this time? Whoever it is,
Norfolk
between us,
Southern.
we'll fix this, right? So the federal government's kind of frozen out. Now, could Pete have gone there anyway? Okay, now let's look at the transportation secretary. What transportation secretary in recent history, let's go 20 years, has gone to the site of a train derailment, even when people die? Even when people die, no one died in this train wreck. So he's not called on to go to those things naturally. So that part doesn't add up. Then he had no business going there the first couple of days because he would divert resources. He would also cause more confusion than he's helping to solve, because the first people on the ground need to be rescuers. They need to be hazmat people. They need to be the people who know what to do to actually get started saving people. Then after that part is moving, you bring in this case, transportation secretary, but reality normally would have been we would send the vice president or the president.
Yeah, the vice.
Right?
Like, yeah, where you at?
But we don't send them, because this is the moving the goalpost piece. We don't send the transportation secretary. We don't send the president, and we don't send the vice president to industrial accidents across the country. They don't show up unless it's a major event, like when you had hurricanes or something. How long did it take Obama to even show his silly behind up in Flint? So that's not what it's for. Those guys would just be showing up as a photo op. The first federal member of high-ranking people that should have been there was FEMA. But FEMA couldn't get there till the governor said, "Come on."
Yeah, the governor, yeah.
So
like I said, I'm
that's
not
why I had to
excusing.
take it apart.
No, because I'm saying
That's why I had to take it apart, because what you were saying is just wrong.
No, it's not. I'm exactly right.
Yes, it was. Everything you said was wrong. Everything you said was wrong.
You keep saying
except for the governor part.
The governor part, yeah. The deal is, this is
you
what
want him to show up, do a photo op.
Nobody wants to finish that sentence, and everybody is satisfied with that one little sentence. They should have showed up. And when I push back every time they go, show up and do what?
Tell the people you're there for them. Bring water, bring something.
But they didn't have nothing.
They had nothing.
They didn't have nothing.
Tracy,
so then he was. Then
this is again making excuses for the Democrats. They can do anything they want.
No. I don't care about the Democrats.
Okay,
Tracy,
wait.
I don't care about the Democrats.
Hold on. I'm going to ask this question, Tracy. I'm literally going to ask this question, bar none, nonstop. I'm just going to ask this question.
Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg shows up and does go.
Holds a town hall meeting. I'll give you something.
Who did he save doing that?
It's not about necessary. Okay, so here's my point, and I'll say it again.
If it was your town, would it be about saving somebody?
You work with
I got toxic waste in my backyard. I don't give a damn.
But you let the people voice their concerns. You can't just shut them out.
Dude, he didn't. He got there 4 days later. During those 4 days, we're keeping the waterways from being more polluted than they are. During those 4 days, we're trying to get more support in. During those 4 days, we're trying to get people hospital care. These are the things that need to be happening, and none of which could Pete do. None of them. So your remedy is go make a speech. That's your remedy.
Do you understand how irked I would be? How upset I would be if I got toxic water running through my backyard and some dude shows up and go, let's talk about it.
We gonna send help.
That's better than responding 4 days later talking about diversity matters. Y'all can miss
I'd
me
rather
with
you
that.
send help.
Y'all can miss me with that. That is just making more excuses.
Your argument
I don't
literally
care
has
if
no
he
merit.
showed up the day that it happened. I don't care if he showed up the next day. I don't care if he showed up 2 hours after the accident. Pete can't do jack squat. Pete is not a physician. Pete is not in emergency.
Well, he apparently thinks he is. He thinks he's
Marlon.
the smartest person in the whole room. So hey, whatever.
He is usually the smartest person in the room. But Marlon, here's the funny thing: we're having it. And Tracy, I'm sorry, but this is truly how you come at most of these topics. You are so anti-Democratic Party that you'll take the anti-position no matter what. Doesn't matter what it is. You're just going to be against it. Because you yourself just said the only thing Pete could do was go in there and have a town hall and listen to people tell them how bad it is. That's not saving one child. That's not saving one pasture where food needs to be grown. It's not doing anything. What I need is for you to make it so my children don't get sick. And so that's the disconnect there. Like, I don't like the Democratic Party, but I'm not going to just be against them just to be against them.
But I criticize the Republican governor just like I criticize Pete. Both
That's
of them.
fine. But we're talking about, but what you pointed out about the governor, mate, I'm with you there. He delayed help that could have been sent.
And he still hasn't asked for help to this day.
Right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the most current. So yeah, I'll go with what you just said. So he is more of a hindrance to his people than anybody else. He actually can help people. You know?
And he's not.
But the other side of it is, like, literally, we're only complaining about Pete not being there sooner because the people on the right complained about him not being there sooner. That's the only reason we fight about it.
About two
because
things.
No other national treasure, no other transportation secretary has gone to this type of event.
We can only have one at a time.
Yeah, but we have over 1,000 trail derailments every year.
And he should be at every last one. I'm not going to be. Depending on the
When
severity.
have you ever said that? When have you ever said that before now? Because before now, we have people who die in these trail derailments all the time. I think death is a pretty big thing.
I agree.
Right?
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
So we would say that he should go to every last one of these trail derailments. What does that help with? Now who's going to be pushing for legislation and all that? Because part of the issue we're dealing with right now is Obama put in that executive order, which, let's be fair, everybody.
That was a good executive
order. Well,
yes.
Bear with me. That executive order wouldn't even have stopped this, because part of that executive order mandated how long the train was, right? So if the train was a certain length, then you had to have these upgraded brakes. So but this train technically was shorter than the requirement for that. But still, it was a good executive order that should have been left there. Trump comes in and pulls it out.
Yeah, pulls it out.
Okay. So then this happens. But the thing is, this happens all of the time. It's just that this time it was really bad. So where I get so lost is, like, it's so circumstantial with our situation. With our outrage. Like, no other transportation secretary is asked to do this stuff. They're just not. So why is it this?
We only have one at a time. We don't have
time. But you did not.
And we're still
if
saying,
you could show me where you made this same criticism in the past, I'll be with you.
In the 20 years, the one at a time that was in there never went. We're just talking about the current one.
So that excuses this one for not going.
Yeah, actually it does.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. I have nothing else. That's it. I'm done.
At this point in time, any transportation secretary to go down there, I'm going to look at you as if you're just going down there as for a photo op, because you
now that he's went,
do nothing.
Well, now that he has gone, I would now be moving into Tracy's camp, only because he has gone. So you have now set a new standard. So now, when we're dealing with a situation that could have been avoided and it overlaps into a major event like this, then your happy ass need to show up. But prior to this, that would be that there's no precedent for it. So it's just weird with the sliding scale thing. But now that he's done it,
Now we got to
we
keep
know
going.
you can do it. Show your happy ass up. And not only that, I would hope, even though with our Congress, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be proven wrong here. I would hope, given this, that now when you have these types of situations, the state and the federal government immediately mobilize to address the situation, and then you can go back and build a corporation. But that probably ain't what's gonna happen because we do the whole deregulation and all that. Oh, and the other part that's really important and gets very little press. FEMA is part of who's helping now, right? Now that the federal government's able to get in there and do stuff. Guess who gutted their budget? Like multiple times in the last 4 years alone. So they don't even have the money to do things that they need to do. Remember, was it first it was a couple hundred million, and then it was over $1 billion taken out of FEMA for the border wall. So you've gotten rid of staffing, you've gotten rid of infrastructure, and then this happens, and then people are like, "Hey, man, where's the federal government? Federal government ain't got the work. They don't have it. It's not in place." So it's like we're mad, and we should be mad, but we need to be mad at the right thing. And then I'm going to say one little asshole statement. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to say it anyway. People, we got to be more aware of what the hell we voting for. You Trump voters, you literally voted for the man that weakened FEMA, weakened regulations on these trains, and then showed up and delivered stale, outdated water from a company that failed a decade ago. Folks, y'all voted for your own
and
situation.
they're going to do it again.
And they're going to do it again. You know? And then for Tracy's side of the argument, for those of you who are like diehard Democrats, y'all got to pay attention to shit too. You're going to sit around and vote for some craziness who going to come in here and be like, well, we not going to do anything about student loan. See, first of all, student loan forgiveness, I'm not a fan of that. I'm good for it. Do it, right? That's the least you could do. But really what y'all need to do is get into the finance situation and fix what the hell's going on. Because there's still more kids coming behind this who are getting these predatory loans. So who going to help them? But I rest my case. I'm done now.
I think Mickey's point is what the point I was trying to get to. It's not just that they didn't come, it's that they're continuing Trump's policies from the last 2 years. That's in addition to everything I said, which I was trying to get to, but I was accused of being I am anti-Democrat, so that's not a lie. No lies protected.
But you are right.
And with Tracy's last statement, that is a great way to segue into I don't know about y'all, but I love being on these shows.
I'm just saying, I want to make it very clear. Tracy is 100% right about the Biden administration is not doing everything they could be doing.
Yeah, y'all are really slow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just say
I was trying to get to that.
Let me just say this statement. Let me just say the statement so we can get on because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Let me just say this. Biden, you're doing a good job. You as slow as molasses. And when you're slow on these policies, if you're not moving, you're standing still. Been 2 years, bro. I'm sorry.
But he said nothing would fundamentally change. He wasn't lying.
Trump has done more damage to this country in 2 years than that you have been able to fix.
Well, good things always are harder to do than bad things.
No. Anyway, so we're going to move on to Am I the A-hole? I just want to get that point across.
I'm not going to answer that question.
I didn't have a question.
No, you said, am I the a-hole? And I said, I'm not going to answer